So mad you rage, so mad you rage.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another increasingly common Ektar solo cast. Today we're going to be replay casting ReGen Nebula versus ICC Crystal Gems. Because this is a replay, we are going to be missing some information, such as who picked the map that we're currently on, which you can see is Sky Temple. Map bans were Braxis Holdout and Dragonshire by ReGen Nebula, and ICC Crystal Gems banning out Towers of Doom and Infernal Shrines because the Lime Bus is on their team. Getting on into game number 1 on Sky Temple. Let us get into the game right now. Spawning on the left-hand side in the blue trunks, they are ReGen Nebula, with Murda, the captain, playing Diablo, Karama playing Deckard Cain, Tashives is on Maiev, big fan, Stixa playing Kilthas, and ITT Cowboy is on the Hogger. And on the right-hand side, in the red, they are ICC Crystal Gems with Jakuval playing Leoric, Sycophants playing the Junkrat, Mockstash playing Jaina, Velk Slays on Anubarak, and Alicia Wins playing Rhaegar. Checking the level 1 talents as we are wont to do in this game, we've got Deckard Cain going into Field Study, which I think is not an uncommon choice. It's certainly not Scroll of Identify, which is, I think, the least common and least good choice overall. We've got Maiev going into the Blink build, which I think is pretty common, although you could definitely choose to go for Nishas on this map. Kilthas is, of course, going for the Mana Addict, and a couple of to-be-determineds on the side of the red team. Already have Leoric in the top lane. We can see they don't want to mess around at all with this mid lane fight, giving up a little position in mid so they can get the guaranteed early soak in top lane. We do have Totem build coming up from the Rhaegar, pretty expected, and honestly, any talent on level 1 could be good for the Anubarak. Really, he's got so much build diversity that it's hard to really go wrong. Murda finding just a small shadow charge, but Velk Slays is in absolutely no danger. Neither is Sycophants. Velk actually taking quite a bit of damage from Karama and Stixa, but is going to have the tap available. It's very early, but it's not all that bad on this map. Let me know how the sound balance is. I think I was playing with my game volume the other day, so I don't know if it's all that good. We do have a very early camp attempt coming out from the blue team. ICC Crystal Gems are responding, but neither of their bruisers are particularly close, so this is just an even 4v. Murda taking quite a bit of damage, is going to get the Shadow Charge out onto Mockstash. Able to walk away from Alicia Wins, and it looks like both teams are probably going to give up the camp for now. ITT Cowboy getting some more damage, and they did rotate the Hogger down, so when Diablo comes back in, it will be a 5v4, so I don't expect to see ICC Crystal Gems committing that hard, but they do commit that hard, and they get the first kill onto the Hogger, and that puts them quite far ahead because their Leoric is still soaking. Murda is going to get the stun onto Velk Slays, but they should be backing up at this point, but that's a lot of resets coming out from Shives. Stixa is here as well. Gonna get big damage on the Velk Slays and should get the kill. Yes, they do, and that is the camp being successfully taken by the blue team and getting 2 kills for 1, but with Lyric having been split out the whole time, they got the mid soak, they got top soak before, so they're actually coming out ahead in the soak, even though they traded out more kills. Given that both teams spent so long brawling, however, the rest of the camps are being taken really slowly. We have this camp being taken here, as well as this one being taken by the side of the red team. But with the objective spawning this close, I think Mockstash is in kind of a rough spot if the rest of the blue team decide to try and put eyes on it. Looks like not likely that they want to do that. Murda and Shives using that Sylvanas trait in bottom lane so they can really just push with this camp. Not a whole lot that Velk Slays is going to be able to do about it, as Anubarak does not have particularly good wave clear and didn't even go into the Impale talent on 4 to give them a little bit better wave clear, so gonna have a hard time pushing these camps back out, taking just a little bit of poke damage. Maiev getting a nice pull onto Stash and Alicia, and I think Velk Slays is Burrow Charge, but has it available again, is able to get on out of there, but is very low and separated from their healer, so not going to be able to get healed up for quite a bit yet. Jakuval is getting poked out by IT Cowboy as well, and this is starting to go in the favor of the blue team, but taps are available for ICC Crystal Gems. ReGen is starting to get the clear on these defenders, but Velk Slays is going to be able to get the interrupt here. And with the taps available, they have more health, but their team is just slowly coming in. Alicia Wynn's Sickle Pants weren't in that team fight until just this minute. Mockstash getting huge damage from that charge, but Murda is very low as well. Kill onto Jaina, kill out onto Diablo, and I think the health bars are now definitely starting to favor ICC Crystal Gems, and that should be the first objective going over to them. No significant damage was done by the camps that were on the map. A little bit of damage in the mid lane and a little bit of damage in the bottom lane. But ReGen Nebula, sorry, ReGen, yeah, I was right. ReGen Nebula should be able to get the clear in time without any substantial damage being done here. Getting up the whole front wall is pretty worthwhile, however. Biggest difference, however, is just this Leora getting back up into top lane so fast. Hogger has not been matching in that XP, so they're going to start to get further behind if they're not able to match the soap coming out from ICC Crystal Gems. However, to that exact same points, Tashives is in bot lane where no one is in there for ICC Crystal Gems, so both teams doing an okay job of soaking, but both teams definitely could be improving as well, just having a little bit more personnel spread. We're taking a little bit of damage from Jakul and Valkslaves, but not a whole lot. Gonna pump that spell shield, reducing that damage they take by 64%, so really not a whole lot of damage going into them. But that means it won't be available for this next objective phase. Camp getting picked up in the mid lane. This is going to push while the objective is up, so the longer it goes, the better it is for ReGen. But the members of ICC Crystal Gems are very well set up defensively with these traps being set up here by Junkrat. Jakubal does get the suck onto Muradin, but isn't going to do a whole lot of damage. Doesn't spread the living bomb, though. Really well positioned by them. Junkrat traps are kind of just getting ignored, though. They're not in a position to stop ReGen from walking in any further, so that defensive posture not quite in their favor as much as it used to be. However, this camp in top lane is starting to do some good work for the side of ReGen. The poke damage is really starting to come out, and Tashives engages hard, gets the pull onto Alicia and to Jaina. A lot of damage, but no kills coming out, and that's a lot of rubies coming out there from Deckard Cain, so if they're able to get that healing, that's going to be a huge difference maker. Tashives getting several resets, and that's going to be a kill going out onto Jaina. Valkslaves is split up from the rest of the team, not able to peel for Jakubal or Alicia Wins until just now. It doesn't look like ReGen are going to be able to get another kill, but this will be the second objective. Now going over to ReGen, putting the team at 1-1, unless Sickle Pants is really able to poke out, but with ReGen pushing as far forward as they are, I don't think that seems likely. Tashives again on this Maiev, just getting, it seems like inconsequential poke damage until it happens enough times and you just can't keep up in the heal department. And Maiev has really been threatening the back line coming out, really well done coming out from Tashives. 3 members still in the top lane, pushing with this camp. Sickle Pants will be able to clear this out sooner rather than later, unless Tashives gets into some more big damage. We do have the Tricky Shuffle, I think it is? Dirty Trickster, yeah, Dirty Trickster coming out from the Junkrat, just putting those extra bombs out after taking a lot of damage. It's 3v3 in top lane, but a nice Gravity Lapse from Stixa is going to stop Valkslaves from walking in any farther, as the next objective will be spawning in 20 seconds. We have IT Cowboy taking camp in the bot lane. This will provide them some great push potential during the objective, and their team is going to have a long time to stall as it is more on their side of the map. Jakubal walking into Murda and IT Cowboy, going to take more damage than he dealt in it, so not a particularly good trade for them as the level 10s are coming in now for the side of ReGen, so they're going to have those heroic talent tiers on their opponents. However, with that camp being picked up, that's 10s for their opponents as well, so ICC Crystal Gems picking up their heroics. Both teams even on levels, even on talent tiers, and it's just going to come down to an even 5v5 fight over this objective. Valkslaves doesn't get stunned out by Murdoch, puts the cocoon onto Maya. They've been the biggest harassment target coming out this whole game, but a huge stay away wasn't going to hit onto 3 members. Karama dealing a great amount of healing and a huge Ancestral coming up, but I think it slightly missed the target as that is 2 kills going down for ICC Crystal Gems. They're going to lose Valkslaves. No, gets the Burrow Charge out in time, but it looks like ReGen are still on the hunt for a 3rd kill, and Valkslaves is going to be that target. A good cleanse coming up, but Valkslaves didn't see it coming, so they walked back in, and that will be Valkslaves going down 3-0, and the objective going over in favor of ReGen. We do have Jakubal with that trait coming up nice and quickly, but being that their Rhaegar had to back, not going to be able to defend this Fort. Murda very aggressively pushing out into Sickle Pants. Mockstash going to try to put some damage in for peels, but that is not going to be enough, and that is Junkrat going down as well. The fort not yet taken for the side of ReGen, but it's really just a matter of time at this point. They have all the time in the world to push this down. Offlaner is out doing offlane things, making sure they get that soak as well, but that is going to be the first building of the game going in favor of ReGen. No, it looks like Velxlaze is going to get there in time, put those beetles down. That will draw aggro on the minions, stop the fort from going down, but with 8 kills to 3 now in favor of ReGen, it looks like it's going to go really not particularly well for ICC Crystal Gems. But they're not down anything that they cannot recover from. They haven't lost any buildings. They're not down a talent here, so they could try to make a fight right now. We do have sickle plants coming in right now. We do have that shade coming out from Maya. See if they can start anything, but not finding the backline targets that they really want to. Moxdash stepping very far forward for a blizzard, but not finding it onto anyone. Velxlaze is going to get pushed off the point. The Maya does get into the backline stay while hitting onto all 4 members at the team fight. Sickle Pants having to hard disengage, but Jane is going down again. Tashive's getting reset after reset, going to get the kill on a Junkrat as well, and with the objective coming up, and now 13 for the side of ReGen, it really doesn't seem like ICC Crystal Gems is going to be able to do anything to stop them. Jakubal is getting to the point in time, but will not be able to clear the Shrine Defenders quickly enough. Stixa, Karama, IT Cowboy, and Murda now here in time. They're going to get the objective, but they're actually going to stall. They're going to invade their opponent's camp, so they're going to have both the camp and the objective pushing while this, while the objective is pushing. And you see right there why Hogger is so great on these camp-heavy maps, taking it so quickly, even compared to most bruisers. Hogger is very good at dealing that siege damage, especially onto the mercenaries. ICC Crystal Gems committing to defending in the mid lane, which is very good. It's where this camp is pushing. A lot of wonder if there was a pause or something. There was a lot of voice lines all dropping in chat at one time. Mid is going to be defended, it looks like. We got a Burrow Charge coming out onto Stixa, but a big Gravity-Lapse is going to stop Velxlaze from actually continuing the engagement there. Fort goes down in the top lane as that's, what the hell are these things called? Garden Terror. The Garden Terror is still very healthy in top lane and in bot lane. IT Cowboy is pushing alone in bottom lane and doesn't have anyone here to help him pushing. So ICC Crystal Gems are going to be able to get the defense here, but the rest of ReGen have rotated back into mid lane. No Garden Terror, but they've got 3 heroes and a Dream, so they're just going to be pushing in really hard here. And that is going to be 2 forts to 0 in favor of ReGen Nebula. Tashive's looking to see if they can get a pull off the wall. They do complete the fort, but they don't find anyone off the tether. So it looks like ReGen are just going to try to back off. They are not up a talent here currently, so ICC Crystal Gems are going to take this opportunity to try and make something happen before the 16s come in. Velxlaze gets charged by Murda, but haven't found anything that they're quite looking for just yet. Blizzard does miss out on a Murda. Big damage coming out from the Velxlaze. A tomb comes out, but Diablo says, "You're trapped in here with me." The Lightning Breath doing a ton of damage to the backline of ICC Crystal Gems. Alicia Wins goes down, as does Jaina. Leora goes down as well, 3-0, and it looks like it could be further if Hogger is able to chase down Junkrat. Looks like they're not going to be able to chase it down quite yet, as Hogger, I don't think, has any of his movement abilities remaining. So Sickle Pants and Velxlaze should be able to get on out of here, but Sickle Pants may be overstaying their welcome. Murda does catch up to him, gets the flip and the charge, and that is another kill in favor of ReGen Nebula. That is going to be the successful camp invade, and level 16, that all-important 16 talent tier, putting them way up on their opponents.
Another seed is about to sprout, heroes. Are you ready for it?
Things are beginning to look pretty dire for ICC Crystal Gems, but they have a lot of time right now. Obviously, ReGen are pushing in with 4 heroes in the bottom lane. This is something that can be defended. They still have their keep. They still even have the whole front wall here. As long as they don't start giving up kills, this is a defensible fight that they can make, even at even numbers. Murda goes in for a shadow charge, or for a charge, isn't able to find anything. Takes quite a lot of damage from the tower shots, but he is able to just walk on out of there without any significant threat to his life. Objective comes up, and ReGen, deciding that they cannot actually make a push in for keep here, are just going to clear this, take the objective very quickly. This will only be the first of their 3, so they're not going to be able to get any major value off of this until they get the 3rd one. But with as far as their opponents are down in levels, they can likely get the 3rd one about the time that their opponents are level 16. ICC should get 16 at least by the time the next objective comes up. So they'll be able to take an even talent tier fight, trying to find something even, use their late game power spikes, and try to find a way back into this game. ReGen taking all 3 camps on their side of the map. Don't worry, IT Cowboy, nobody saw that spin. You're just going to take it slightly slower is all. Bruiser camp getting picked up in the bot lane by Maiev and Kel'Thas. Deckard's there as well, but he doesn't really contribute a whole lot, especially without the Ancient Blessings on 13, opting to go into the... Oh, what the hell is that talent called? I don't remember. Potion of Revival. It's a splash on the heal. It's pretty good, but it doesn't help your DPS in any way. ReGen, they have their 16s, but more importantly, they have 5 people here, and they're trying to, looks like, take a fight 5 versus 4 on their opponents while Hoggers all the way in top lane. They're going for it. They're in their opponent's spell armor, but they really need to find a lockdown onto a significant target. Jakubal does find the flip onto find the entomb onto Tashives. Tashives popping the heroic there is able to trap the members of ICC, but Tashives is getting brought down very low, and they find a kill. That is huge for them. We do have Hogger, who's going to be taking the objective in top lane, but if ICC Crystal Gems are able to find another kill, this is going to be their ticket back into the game. Murda is a very hard target to take out, but they should have enough lockdown abilities to keep him from walking on out of there, especially since they only have Deckard King for healing. He's not particularly good at the burst healing. Murda's getting brought down very low. 75 spell armor is huge, though, and IT Cowboy is here now. It is still 5 versus 4. However, the health bars are starting to drop very low for the members of ICC Crystal Gems. Moxdash, don't spread that bomb. They don't, and Sickle Pants is looking like they're going to get out of there. The big slow totem from Alicia Wins is going to provide the necessary peel. So they are only able to find the 1 kill, but they're still up in heroes. The objective is on their side of the map, and they really can't let their opponents get this one, or it will be spawning another guard terror phase for them. Alright, we've got the clear going out in top lane. Really, I think that they have to sacrifice this. You can't really defend. You need to get this position on this objective. If Maiev gets here before y'all start taking a fight, things could go very poorly for you. Obviously, this has already happened. I'm speaking to you in the past, but maybe if you're watching now, you can reflect and learn from things. Valkyslaze is coming in here. They find Karama. That's a juicy target. They have the cocoon available. Big knockback from the Junkrat is going to find Karama. No interrupt for the stay a while, but they're got down very low. Karama is going to fall. Maiev was put into the cocoon, but they find the kill onto Jaina. Valkyslaze getting thrown into the wall as well. Sickle Pants gets brought down very low, getting forced out by the Phoenix. Alicia Wins is dueling IT Cowboy in the back. Valkyslaze brought down very low. I don't think they have the Burrow Charge available quite yet. Gonna need it to get on out of there. IT Cowboy's getting very low, but is able to get the spun on out. Stixa doing a ton of damage. They did pick up the kill onto Alicia Wins. Jakubal very low. Sorry, not on Alicia Wins, on Valkyslaze. Alicia Wins is still alive, but now they're down 3 versus 4, and this is do or die time for ICC Crystal Gems. I don't know if they survive this objective phase, if it gets picked up by ReGen, and picked up by ReGen is exactly how this objective phase is going to go. Sickle Pants looking to get some damage in, but Shives gets way more damage into them. He is able to escape just barely, but they're very low, and their opponent's hitting level 20 now. Sickle Pants gets hit by the Flame Strike with the Ignite, and is going to go down as well. We've got the 20s now for ReGen, and they are pushing, looking like they want to end the game here, and I think they can do it, folks. 4 more voice lines coming out from the Spore Queen. Thank you for that, Blizzard. We do have bottom keep going down. Mid keep's going to go down as well. Top keep is already fallen, and it looks like it is all over, but for the crying here for ICC Crystal Gems, as they still have their Junkrat dead, as they have 3 Garden Terrors wailing away on the keep, the core rather. We do have IT Cowboy in the backline trying to get some damage in. Jakubal is trying to get the members of ReGen off. They find the kill onto Jaina, and that is going to be game number 1 going in favor of ReGen Nebula. Oh boy, talk about a game that looked close until it didn't. That was very back and forth in the early game, but as soon as ReGen hit level 10, it was all in their favor. Big snowball for them. I was gonna end the screen so we could go look at the numbers, but I just remembered this is a replay. We can't actually do that. So we'll check out the numbers here. Hero damage coming out from Stixa, only an 8k advantage in the head-to-head of the top 2 members, but the following 3 members, all 4 damage on the side of ReGen Nebula, really putting out just a lot more damage than their opponents. And a lot of the time you see one team will get more damage, the other team get more healing. In this case, ReGen got both, so they were dealing more damage and healing more of the damage that they took. So, just by the numbers, a very solid game coming out from ReGen Nebula. They do have bottom keep going down. Mid keep's going to go down as well. 4 more voice lines coming out from the Spore Queen. Thank you for that, Blizzard. We do have bottom keep going down. Mid keep's going to go down as well. So And it's reflected in the kill count, 19 to 5. A lot of those were on the attempted core defense, which we don't really count those. But just a really solid game, great macro, and even more impressive team fight coming out from ReGen. Gonna throw us back onto the... Oh boy, I hit B. Throw us back onto the between game screen. The replay browser didn't let me download replays in the spoiler-free manner, unfortunately, so gonna take a little bit. I already downloaded the replays, but I was not able to have them as unspoilered, unfortunately. Oh my god, I said game was on Sky Temple when I loaded the Garden of Terror replay. So, Garden of Terror was the second replay, so the first replay is actually going to be the Sky Temple game. I downloaded them in chronological order, I played them in download order, so slight hiccup on the ordering of the matches, but that's okay. We're getting game number 2 loaded up right now. Hopefully shouldn't be more than a minute or so. And what do you think about that game, you guys? I saw you were here more. Do you have any particular team that you're rooting for, or are you just rooting for Division C? Actually, aren't you in C West this season? You're not even getting scouting right now. What are you doing? Or are you just coming to hang out? Alright. The game is open. The replay is loading. Should be good to go in just a minute. Gonna take another quick drink of water before we get started. And there we are, good to go for game number 2. Spawning on the left-hand side in the blue trunks, they are ReGen Nebula with... Yeah, I always want to say Rebel, but it's not. It's ReGen Nebula for this team. With Stixa playing the Li Ming, Karama on Brightwing, Murda is on Johanna, Tashives on the Sylvanas, and in the top lane we've got off-lane ETC being played by IT Cowboy. And on the right-hand side, in the red, looking to tie up the series at 1-1, they are ICC Crystal Gems with Valk Slays on Muradin, Alicia Wins on Anduin, Moxdash once again on the Jaina, Jakuval on Blaze, and in the bottom lane we've got Sicko Pants playing the Junkrat yet again. Checking out the level 1 Murda, what do you do? This is like a 2019 talent. Nobody takes Laws of Hope anymore. It's all about double blinds, no matter the composition. Oh, big damage actually going into Sicko Pants. Don't even get the self-boop out in time, and a very quick kill coming out from ReGen. Really looking to start things off with a bang. A lot of damage going into IT Cowboy, but without that Junkrat, they should not have the damage numbers available to finish the job, and they're using the Silver Trait. Already got the first tower down, and ReGen, they have come to play in this series. Because once again, this is technically the first map. We played them in incorrect order, but that's once again okay. Big damage actually going into Murda. Weren't able to pop the D-shield in time, so took a lot of damage. Really good stun there coming out from Valk Slays. Normally we see the first fight of the game happening on this guy, but when you've got Sylvanas able to shut off buildings like that, it can be really powerful to just go ahead and do that instead. Give up that vision and go get the siege damage. And this time, because they actually got the vision, they really didn't lose out on anything substantial. Murda is kind of low. Valk Slays is a lot more healthy, and because of that second wind, actually third wind being talented into it, gonna have the opportunity to heal off this incidental poke damage a lot more easily than Murda can, although I suppose the Laws of Help does help with that, so gonna have that available for the extra healing from time to time. And who doesn't love a globe quest? Everybody loves a globe quest. We see Jaina picking up a globe quest. I'm pretty sure only Blaze had the opportunity for a globe quest and did not take it. Actually, no, this is not Prog Rock. This is Guitar Hero, so 2 people with globe quests and opting not to take them. Looks like we've got a bit of a double soak action. Jakubal soaking both mid and top lane. Could allow the ETC to push in on top lane, but ETC not especially known for his solo push prowess. On the flip side, it does allow for the opportunity for Blaze to come in there and rotate from time to time. Good route coming out onto Murda, but they were able to pop that D-shield, so no substantial damage coming out from them. But the clear already onto the blue Siege Giants mean that the red team is going to be able to push in a lot more effectively here. Valk Slays is starting to use health as a resource. Going to be able to step on back, get a nice heal from Alicia Wins, and as soon as that third wind starts kicking in, that is just free value. That is healing that your healer didn't have to put in. We had Sylvanas and Brightwing take the camp on here. Brightwing just holding the camp for a more opportune time. Given that the first objective spawns in mid and top lane, I like the camp being just picked up right away instead of holding on to it, because it pushes during the objective. The opponents can relatively easily respond to that lane, so I like just getting it pushed out as soon as possible, but holding it is another valid decision, especially if you think that your opponents want to defend more in the mid lane than in the top lane. Junkrat is going to continue soaking out in the bot lane. Looks like ICC were thinking about taking up their own Berserk camp, deciding against it because the objective is going to be spawning in 5 seconds, and ReGen is already in position. Ooh, we got the Crowd Surfer coming out there, skating on over solid air, but that means they didn't have it available quite yet, and that is not going to be a kill. Barely not going to be a kill there. Does this reduce cooldown as well if you don't use it or anything? That's right, yeah, if you don't hit any targets with it, then it reduces the cooldown. So he did have it available just barely, but took a lot of damage for that minor repositioning. And because ReGen are pushing top lane and their opponents are not defending, holding the camp means it is pushing during this objective. We have Blaze on the point in the mid area, but now we finally have the members of ICC coming to respond here. Moxdash did get Polymorph, but that means it's not available for a more dangerous hero. IT Cowboy coming in, using that Crowd Surfer once again, just for repositioning purposes. Gonna have it up nice and quick again. Velxley's taking a lot of damage here. Is gonna have to tap and come back on up as we have the front lines dueling it out here. I think Jakubal should just win this 1v1 into Murda, but it looks like Moxdash wants this not to be a 1 versus 1, but so does Karama on that Brightwing. Is gonna port into danger, however. So often Brightwing wants to port in to help their teammates and end up being the ones needing the help themselves. Both teams getting about 1 full channel here between the mid and the top. We can see the damage done from that camp as well as the team pushing means that is a fort going down in top lane for ICC Crystal Gems, and not a compensatory amount of damage being done in the mid here. They only got about half the fort and the whole front wall, so big advantage for ReGen in the early objective phase. Berserk camp is being picked up here by the members of ICC Crystal Gems. I actually kind of... I would have preferred it being taken immediately, but between that, I prefer it being taken now because IT Cowboy on that ETC, really not particularly known for his ability to clear minions and camps. Especially, he didn't even go into Echo Petal, so no particularly good way to just deal with this camp, which provides a lot of potential pressure for the members of ICC to get something done on the map with their 5-man. We do have both camps being taken in bot lane. Junkrat did have the trap on there just in case somebody wanted to make for an invade. Murda does have the Unstoppable as counterplay, but the counterplay to that is just hang on to the knockback until the Unstoppable wears off, so a lot of interesting things that could have happened, but because no one decided to rip it, nothing ended up actually happening. Murda stepping in just for that one ding, trading out the like 24-second cooldown on his shield for it, but if he doesn't need it in the next 20 seconds to follow, then that's absolutely fine. Velxley's looking for a flank engage, deciding they can't actually find it on the team here, as the DPS for ICC are a little bit too far back for Murda to actually try to Muradin to step in and actually accomplish anything here. The trap hitting out onto Styxa, they find a stun into Muradin, but has the shield available, so the knockback not going to come in through in time. It was a good attempt, but just not quite lining their buttons up in time to find significant damage. Tens are starting to come online in just a second here, getting picked up now for the side of ReGen. Will be picked up very shortly for the side of ICC Crystal Gems. We do, unsurprisingly, have the stage dive coming in, turning ETC from a mediocre offlaner into a mediocre offlaner with a global. And, like, whole heroes have their kit built around the fact that they have a global ability, so being able to pick one up is not to be underestimated, even on someone who you wouldn't generally prefer to have in the front line, because like, you have a lesser impactful heroic, but tanks have very good basic abilities, so just having that available is very strong. Sickle Pants taking a big orb to the face. Huge light bulb coming in on Velxley, is getting some big damage into Karama Styxa and to Shives. IT Cowboy is deep into the backline, putting some threat onto Moxdash and Sickle Pants, however. Big heal from onto IT Cowboy is going to find him getting topped out nicely. Jakubal's getting brought down very low, is going to pop the bunker, providing them that extra health bar and the damage, but that is a huge kill going out on the Junkrat, and that means that ICC Crystal Gems no longer going to be able to continue with this fight. The Murden goes down, Blaze goes down, the Black Arrow comes out, and that's going to be the fort going down, not even having to channel the objective yet, and I would not be surprised to see them get at least 2 forts based off of this team fight. I was wondering if they were going to do this. They are looking at the boss. This is a little bit risky. They're doing a lot of things right now, and I actually like this play. This is a well-disciplined play because they want to get out. They want to get their XP lead. Boss is great for structure damage, but probably it only gets the front wall here at this phase because the fort's already down, so just splitting off, taking the soak in mid, getting someone to soak top, and taking camps on their side of the map is really great for them. They'll be able to continue that XP lead, get to level 13 nice and quickly, so they'll have a really strong talent tier advantage on their opponents. We have ICC looking to see if they could finish up this objective or maybe get some damage into IT Cowboy, but they weren't able to find him before he got out of there in time. But they have all 5 members in the southern half of the map, so they're looking to try to get an invade here. However, it's only really... Actually, I was going to say it's only Brightwing split up, but Sylvanas back probably for mana as well. So this should be a very nice fight in favor of ICC Crystal Gems. A big Light Bomb is going to start onto the front line. Brightwing does get the port in. Sylvanas is here now. IT Cowboy in a rough spot, though, starting to take a lot of damage, but the damage is actually being really split here. Moxdash was on ETC, but they weren't able to secure a kill. The members of ICC are trying to step onto point. ETC taps and re-engages on the stage dive. And a really good defensive fight coming out for ReGen Nebula. The only heroic on the whole map that is still available is the Blink Heal coming up now and the Black Arrows, or the Wailing Arrows. So this is going to be a big potential invade coming out from ReGen. They find the camp, and it looks like they're trying to find kills, but with the defensive cooldowns available, ICC are able to disengage. But as that happens, the mid-fort goes down, top keep wall is under threat, and everything is coming up Millhouse for ReGen Nebula. ICC Crystal Gems, they need to get level 13 in time for this next objective. Their opponents are actually going for boss. They see the members of ICC in top lane. They figured they can take this boss safely, and it looks like it hasn't been identified by ICC, so this is going to be a totally uncontested boss for ReGen. I don't think it'll get a ton of damage unless they try to commit and push with the boss, but that's a risky play when you're no longer going to be up level 13 for very long. Plus, with the double objective phase coming up, you put your ETC up in here, he's going to have stage dive in 10 seconds, you put the rest of the team in here, that way you have vision. The boss is going to provide vision all throughout this lane, so they know if their opponents are going to try and push onto the mid objective, or onto the bottom objective, and if they push into top, ETC can get out of there with the shorter cooldown on his power slide, as well as, if necessary, even stage dive on out of there. So a very great split on the map coming up from ReGen. The pull having to come out onto Sickle Pants to save him from that engage. Valk Slays is looking to go in, however. They're a little bit split on their damage. Once again, Moxdash is putting damage into the boss. Junkrat and Valk Slays were putting damage into the enemy team. And that split in damage means no one's going to go down on the side of ReGen. They are looking to defend mid. Once again, Jakuba wins the 1v1, but ReGen, they don't want to take a 1v1. They're going to take a 4v1. So Jakuba is... They get the jet prop stun, but they are still going to get brought out there. Styx is able to teleport on out. Valkyrie is finding another big stun, and that is going to be the kill on the Leeming. That could be exactly what ICC Crystal Gems needed. Finding out the kill there is going to work towards that kill differential. Tashaiv's double diving the backline and then getting out nice and safe with the power of the Wailing Banshees. Sickle Pants getting brought down very low. IT Cowboy re-engaging, not finding a Sickle Pants, but they find Muradin, they find Jaina, and that is another fantastic fight coming out from ReGen. Alicia wins and Sickle Pants having to back on out, and bottom keep is going down as well. Alicia wins, does get stunned, but IT Cowboy not going to be able to find any follow-up by themselves, and even the invade coming out here from ReGen, they're all over the map right now, but they are absolutely not getting punished anywhere for it. 6 teams are now online for ReGen, and with that, it's going to be even harder for ICC to take an engagement here. Brightwing is on the bottom. This is the potentially most defensible place for ICC, but they are going to get the port on out of there to the rest of their team, and once again, so difficult for ICC to get anything done here. At this point, they just need to try to soak out level 16 nice and safely, not take any unnecessary engagements, and find a fight on even talent tiers. Valkyrie is looking to make something happen. I think it's a little bit greedy. They don't have all 5 numbers here at the moment. Murda may be looking to try to find an engagement. The stage dive comes out. They find a little bit of slow into Sickle Pants, but they don't get any follow-up damage. Just the stun from ETC. It is 5 versus 4 now, as Sylvanas is not here quite yet, but more importantly, probably, it is 17 to 16. Bless Shield miss. We've got the power slide missing as well. So this is about the best fight that I think ICC really could have hoped for. Stun, 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 and IT Cowboys brought down very low, but the critical miss coming out from Brightwing. Gonna keep him alive for the time being. The Junkrat tire gets killed. They don't get any of the damage out. They get the kill on the Brightwing. Outtake Cowboy is low, but ICC are starting to get brought down low as well, and if one kill goes out, then Styx is going to start popping off. That's a kill. That's a second kill. Huge damage coming out from the Leeming. The stage dive coming out. Once again, they find a stun onto Alicia Wins. They get the kill on a Junkrat. Jakuvel very low on Blaze. They find the kill on a Anduin. They're going to maybe chase the kill down on a Blaze. I don't even know if that's necessary. Black arrows are going to come out. It's going to be mid keep going down. Bottom keep is already down. I don't know if they can end because their health bars are still very low and they don't have a healer to keep them topped off. But they're looking to see if they can't still finish the kill on a Blaze, but they do get on out of there. But that is the wave of force coming out. No black arrows means this keep is going to stay alive, but oh man, that is 4 very low members for the side of ReGen, but there's just no one alive for ICC to capitalize on it. What's the count on boss? Still a minute 20, so that's the very small reprieve coming out for ICC Crystal Gems. There's no boss that's going to be coming out against them, but things are beginning to look extremely rough for them as there is an objective in both the top and the bottom lane, and with double global, you can keep 2 heroes in one location, 3 heroes in the other, and just wherever the members of ICC respond, you just disengage from that area, or you bring in your globals if they happen to spawn onto the 3-man. And things are beginning to look really great here. Objectives are spawning in 2 seconds. We have the hard commitment to bot lane by ICC Crystal Gems, but really, at this point of the game, as far behind as they are, I don't think they can afford to trade out evenly. And it's worse than that. They're not even going to trade out evenly. They've got 4 people on bottom lane, but they're only sending the objective. They're not pushing bottom lane the way that Murda is pushing in top lane. The rest of the members of ReGen are getting a camp. They do have the Blaze split out, which is a godsend. They need to either make something happen or really chip through this XP differential. And at the moment, they're only doing a little bit to get it down, but there's still full 3 levels, and they're looking for an engagement now onto Blaze. He does have the bunker available, so he might be able to get on out of there. Murda hitting the stun to make sure the jet prop doesn't go the full distance. Not committing to the engagement, however. But with the top keep going down, the core is starting to take damage. How many shots are left? Just 5, so they should be... They're not going to lose off those 5 shots, but they're extremely far behind. And this is maybe the first call that I look at from ReGen, and I think I really don't like this. You take the boss very quickly, but this is the most even fight that ICC Crystal Gems could ever hope for, but it looks like they might not be able to get here in time. Valk Slays, they know it's do or die on the boss. They get on the boss, but they get pushed off the point, and that's going to be the boss getting capped by ReGen. Moxash taking a big damage from that Wailing Arrow. Only losing 1 hero, but level 20s and the boss pushing through mid lane, through bot lane, with the camp already pushing in top, might be too much for ICC Crystal Gems to defend. Pull coming out onto Sicko Pants just to get him out of bot lane that little bit faster so they can't get engaged down by the very aggressive ReGen team. They clear bot. There's no minions here to soak any damage for ICC Crystal Gems with only 64% on the core. It is once again a do-or-die fight. Moxdash trying to get that damage into Murda, but getting hurt for way more damage than they themselves dealt. Pretty good damage coming out from the Riptire, but the core is falling fast, and that is going to be the 2-0 victory in favor of ReGen Nebula. GG and well played, and we would again normally go to the summary screen, but instead we stay right here to check the numbers. Once again, huge damage numbers by comparison coming out for ReGen. It's a better heal differential this time for ICC Crystal Gems. Anduin doesn't have necessarily the same heal throughput with compared to Brightwing, but they've got that huge save button on the D, so still a very powerful defensive ability come out. Siege damage, that's actually very strongly in favor of ICC Crystal Gems, but that's the thing with Sky Temple. You don't need siege damage number, the objective straight up does it for you. So almost always my favorite number to look at is that siege damage number. But yeah, just really well done by ReGen to just secure the objectives and make sure they can just win off of all of that damage. So put us onto the between screen, mark up that score as a... Right, I hit the B button again. I really need to stop doing that in replays, but I never remember because it doesn't come up during live casts. And, oh man, I could... No, I'm not going to do it. I was thinking I have an hour and a half until D&D. If I found another quick series, I could probably bust out another one, but I would want to try and find, without spoiling myself on the results, if I end up on a 3-game series, then it's untenable. So we're going to see if we can throw it on over to anybody. It was a very quick stream, even by my standards, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. Especially, you know, not having to deal with the draft or map picks and stuff. It is what it is. So let's see who's streaming in Heroes of the Storm. So we can't throw it on over to anybody who does play in NGS. Not that I recognize every NGS player, of course, but it's always nice to you know, keep things going in-house. Not seeing any names that I recognize, really. Obviously, it's a little early for an NGS cast, so not going to be able to find anybody that way, I don't think. We'll check the website, though. See if there's any 5 o'clock games. No, there's not. First match is an hour from now, so... Didn't find anybody that I recognize, I think. Actually, no, we got TT Porky. I missed him the first time, so... That's what we're going to shoot the raid on over to. So, thank you everybody for coming by. Sorry, it was a little bit quicker than I had originally intended, and wanted to get Ace in here for a co-cast, but he's not available at the moment. But just wanted to, you know, just want to get a cast in there. I like talking about NGS and stuff, so thank you everybody, really appreciate it, and yeah, I'll see you whenever I decide to cast again. Bye-bye.